It begins the moment you allow yourself to believe, truly believe, that what you desire is already yours. Not someday, not if everything goes right, not if you work hard enough or pray long enough. Already, right now, in this very breath, the unseen has already arranged itself in your favor, and your only task is to accept it. Let that truth settle into you like warm light. Feel it. Because once you feel it, you've stepped into the state where all things are possible, and your world cannot help but shift to reflect it. There is a quiet power inside you, a creative force that has been shaping your life long before you knew how to name it. You have imagined things, simple things, small desires, even fears, and they have shown themselves in your reality time and time again. If you look back honestly, you'll see the pattern. The moment you accepted something as true in your inner world, your outer world began to bend toward it. This is not chance. This is not coincidence. This is the law operating perfectly as it always does. You may not realize how close you are right now. Your manifestation is not far away, not waiting on someone else, not dependent on circumstances to line up. It is already done. And just like a seed planted beneath the soil, it is quietly breaking open, gathering strength, pushing upward, preparing to show its face in your life. You may not see evidence yet, but the process is in motion. The moment you imagined the end, the moment you felt the truth of what you want, the fulfillment was set into place. There is a saying that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Notice the word substance, evidence. Not wish, not maybe, not possibility, substance and evidence. Faith is awareness of the unseen reality that already exists. When you claim your desire in imagination and feel its truth, you are touching the substance of the reality that is yours. You are not hoping it will come. You are recognizing that it already has, and the visible world must reveal it. Think of someone who once decided quietly, firmly, that a new life was theirs. Perhaps they were struggling, perhaps they felt small, but inside they held a single imaginal experience, waking up in peace, living in abundance, doing what they love. They lived in that inner scene again and again, not out of desperation, but out of knowing. And before long, the world rearranged itself. Opportunities came, people shifted, circumstances reshaped. Not because they forced anything, but because they assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and the outer world had no choice but to reflect it. This happens every day to countless people, because the law is impartial and unfailing. So when you say, my manifestation is coming, understand something even deeper. It is not merely coming, it is entering your reality now. It is unfolding in ways you cannot yet see, moving through channels you could never have planned, touching hearts, shifting events, preparing the perfect moment for its appearance. You are not waiting for it. It is making its way toward you because you have accepted its existence within. You have already lived it in imagination, and imagination is the womb of creation. Remember how the teaching goes? Whatever you desire, believe you have received it, and it shall be yours. Not will receive, have received, past tense. Already done. You are not trying to convince something outside of you to act on your behalf. You are awakening to the truth that the creative power is within you, responding to your inner acceptance. The moment you feel that your desire is real, even before it appears, everything in your world begins moving to confirm that feeling. Let yourself rest in this knowing. There is nothing frantic in true creation. There is no anxiety in the one who knows the end is secure. You do not need to check, to chase, to search for signs. Signs follow, they do not lead. The seed does not need you to dig it up every morning to see if it is growing. It grows because that is its nature. Your desire grows into form because that is its nature. And your faith is the nourishment that carries it from the unseen into the seen. Maybe you've had moments when doubt whispered that nothing is happening. Maybe you looked at your current circumstances and felt discouraged. But your circumstances are not your reality. They are only the echo of what you once assumed to be true. They are old news. Your new reality, the one you have accepted in imagination, is already moving toward manifestation. You don't have to fight the old. You only have to remain faithful to the new. Think of a time when you worried about something that never happened. You imagined the worst, you felt it, and you walked around with the emotional weight of it only to find that reality never produced it. If imagination is powerful enough to create fear that never materializes, imagine what it can do when you deliberately choose joy, abundance, love, success. If your thoughts can disturb your peace, they can also create your miracles. The power is the same. The direction is what changes. There is a beautiful truth that says, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is lovely, think on these things. Why? Because your attention is creative. Your focus is the brush that paints the world you walk into. And when you think from your desired state, when you feel its joy, its relief, its gratitude, you align yourself with the reality where your desire already exists. You step into that version of yourself, and your world shifts to match. Right now, your manifestation is not distant. It is here, surrounding you, forming itself in the invisible, preparing to meet you in the visible. You can breathe easier knowing this. You can walk through your day with confidence. The version of you who already has what you desire is not imaginary. It is your true self, calling you into alignment. Every time you return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you close the gap. Every time you trust the unseen, you strengthen the bridge between imagination and reality. And you do not have to strain to believe. You only have to allow. Let the desire feel natural. Let the end feel familiar. Let the fulfillment feel like home. The more natural it feels inside, the sooner it appears outside. You may not notice the exact moment the shift occurs. Often it happens gently, quietly. But one day you look around and realize your world has changed in your favor. And it feels so natural that you almost forget how long you had wanted. Edit. That is the beauty of this law. When the desire manifests, it feels inevitable, as if it had always been yours. Let your inner conversation be filled with love and certainty. Speak to yourself the way a loving guide would, gently, kindly, confidently. Remind yourself that nothing is too big, too late, too complicated, or too impossible. What you want wants you. What you imagine is already real. What you feel is true must become your experience. The law is faithful. The power within you does not fail. If you ever feel unsure, return to the end in imagination. See yourself living the life you desire. Hear the words you long to hear. Feel the joy, the relief, the harmony. Let it be vivid, but more importantly, let it be natural. That inner experience is the cause. The physical world is only the effect, and the cause has already been set into motion. Your manifestation is not waiting for better timing or for you to become more worthy. You are worthy now. You are chosen now. You are capable now. Everything you desire is already contained within you, and life is simply unfolding the reflection of your inner acceptance. So rest, smile, walk with assurance. It's already done. The moment you imagined it, it became a living reality in the unseen. And just as surely as morning follows night, the unseen becomes seen. Stay faithful to the feeling. Stay loyal to your inner vision. You are stepping into the life that has been prepared for you, and nothing can stop what has already been created. Your manifestation is entering your reality, gently, beautifully, inevitably. And when it arrives, you will recognize it not as something new, but as something you have known in your heart all along. It was always yours. You only needed to believe. And as you continue to move through your days with this awareness, something begins to shift inside you. You stop asking when and start nowing now. You stop searching outside and begin listening within. You stop trying to control every detail and instead surrender to the deeper intelligence that shapes your world with precision and love. This is the state of true creation, not force, not effort, but alignment. In this state, even the smallest moments become confirmations. A gentle thought, a sudden feeling of peace, a synchronicity that seems insignificant at first. These are signs that your inner world is harmonizing with your outer world. They whisper, stay here, stay in this knowing. Nothing dramatic needs to happen. The shift is subtle but powerful, like a tide turning, and once it turns, everything in your life begins moving in the direction of your fulfilled desire. There is a quiet assurance that grows within you, a knowing that cannot be shaken by delays or appearances. You begin to understand that appearances are temporary shadows, but your inner acceptance is the substance. The external may wobble, may show remnants of your old assumptions, but these hold no power unless you grant it. You are the one shaping the meaning. You are the one breathing life into your world. And the more you dwell in the feeling of your desire realized, the more naturally your life aligns with it. Imagine waking up each morning with a soft, steady confidence. Before your feet even touch the floor, you revisit the feeling of the fulfilled desire, not as a fantasy, not as a wish, but as a truth. You walk into your day not hoping it will come, but expecting it, welcoming it, preparing for it, not with impatience, but with love. Like preparing a place for a cherished friend who is already on their way. And when doubts arise, as they sometimes do, you respond differently than before. Instead of spiraling into fear, you gently return to your inner state. You remind yourself that doubt is only a leftover echo of old thinking, not a prophecy of your future. You remind yourself that the outer world is slow to catch up sometimes, but it must follow. You remind yourself that the unseen is always more real than the seen, because the unseen is the cause. You begin to notice how powerful your inner conversations are. The way you speak to yourself becomes the blueprint of your reality. Instead of rehearsing problems, you rehearse peace. Instead of imagining worst-case scenarios, you imagine the best unfolding effortlessly. Instead of declaring lack, you declare completion. And by each new inner conversation, you reinforce the truth that your desire is already yours. This is why imagination is sacred. It is not child's play. It is not escape. It is creation. It is where you rehearse the life you are stepping into. It is where you meet your fulfilled self long before the world meets them. And the more time you spend there, the more natural your new state becomes. Eventually, it feels so normal, so real, so you, that the physical world has no choice but to mirror it back. There is a beautiful simplicity to this law. You become what you assume, not through effort, not through striving, but through inner acceptance. And once you accept the end as true within, every bridge you need, every connection, every opportunity, every shift begins to unfold in perfect timing. Some of these bridges may appear ordinary, a small conversation, a sudden impulse to take a certain action, an unexpected message. Other bridges may appear miraculous. Either way, they are guided by the same intelligence that created your desire in the first place. You don't need to know how. The how takes care of itself. Your responsibility is only to remain faithful to the inner end. The more you practice this inner faithfulness, the more you realize something profound. The world is not happening to you. It is happening through you. Every event, every encounter, every opportunity is responding to your inner state. This empowers you, liberates you, places the creative authority back where it has always belonged, within you. So let your inner world become a sanctuary of fulfilled promises. Let your imagination become the stage where your new life is rehearsed again and again until it becomes effortless. Let your emotions rise to match the reality you are claiming. Feel the gratitude before the manifestation appears. Feel the joy before the evidence shows. This is how you collapse the distance between desire and fulfillment. And as you walk in this steady inner conviction, the world around you begins to soften. Obstacles dissolve, delays shorten, people respond differently, circumstances open. You find yourself at the right place at the right time, meeting the right opportunities without strain. Life begins to feel guided, supported, orchestrated on your behalf. And in truth, it always has been. Now you are simply aware of it. There is no effort in being who you truly are. There is no struggle in receiving what is already created for you. When you rest in the knowing that your manifestation is not coming but arriving, not forming but already formed, you release resistance. You open the door. You let life flow to you with ease. Each breath becomes a reminder, it is done. Each moment becomes an affirmation, I already have it. Each step becomes a movement toward the visible expression of what you have accepted within. Even now, right now, your reality is shifting. Even now, things are aligning. Even now, your unseen world is becoming visible. Because you have claimed the end, because you have embraced the feeling, because you have trusted the inner over the outer, The fulfillment is inevitable. Continue in this knowing. Continue allowing the new to feel familiar. Continue returning to the feeling of completion. Your manifestation is not a distant dream. It is the present truth unfolding itself in time. And as this truth settles more deeply into you, something else begins to awaken. A gentle confidence, a quiet authority that feels both powerful and peaceful. You start to recognize that the outer world is no longer intimidating, no longer something you need to negotiate with or fear. It becomes pliable, responsive, almost soft in your hands. You see that circumstances are not fixed. They're fluid, changing shape according to the state you occupy within. This realization frees you in ways you never expected. You begin to walk differently. Your posture shifts. Your energy changes. People may not understand what's happening, but they feel it. They sense your certainty, your calm, your inner wholeness. You no longer reach outward for reassurance. You carry assurance within you. And this inward shift begins drawing new experiences into your life like a magnet. You don't chase, things arrive. You don't plead, doors open. You don't struggle, paths unfold. This is the power of assuming the state of the fulfilled desire. It transforms you from within, and that transformation becomes the cause of every blessing that follows. You become the embodiment of the thing you have claimed. And because you have become it inwardly, the outer world must reflect it outwardly. Sometimes the bridge of events may surprise you. There may be moments that don't look like progress, moments that briefly confuse you or seem unrelated. But in those moments you remain steady. You know that everything is working in harmony, even if the pattern isn't visible yet. Just like a tapestry, the beauty often becomes clear only when viewed from the right perspective. Until then, all you see are threads, and each one, even the ones that look messy, is being woven with purpose. You'll notice that as you stay faithful to the inner feeling, your reactions begin to change. Where you once would have worried, you now breathe. Where you once would have questioned, you now trust. Where you once would have feared loss, you now know abundance. This new state becomes your home, your resting place, your foundation. And from there, life feels different, lighter, kinder, more aligned. There is a soft joy that accompanies this shift, a quiet excitement, like knowing a gift has already been prepared for you, and all that's left is the unwrapping. You don't rush, you don't force, you savor the knowing. You allow anticipation to feel warm and natural instead of anxious. You let your heart open fully to the truth that what you desire is not only possible, but inevitable because it already exists within you. And when you allow yourself to feel this inevitability, gratitude rises from within without effort. Not gratitude for something that might happen, but gratitude for what is already unfolding, already aligning, already assured. Gratitude becomes the natural expression of your faith. And this gratitude amplifies the state you dwell in, reinforcing the truth that your manifestation is here. In this state, the world becomes a mirror reflecting your inner certainty. You begin to recognize old patterns fading away as new opportunities arise. You notice how effortlessly things seem to work out. You witness how challenges dissolve before they take shape. You see how you are guided, nudged, inspired at exactly the right moments. This is the flow that emerges when you no longer resist, when you no longer doubt, when you live from the end rather than toward it. And perhaps the most beautiful part is the transformation of your self-concept. You begin to see yourself not as someone trying to attract or earn or deserve something, but as someone who naturally creates, naturally receives, naturally embodies the life they desire. You become conscious of your true identity, the creative power expressing itself through imagination and feeling. And once you grasp this, even lightly, your entire relationship with life changes. You start to realize that desires themselves are invitations. They are not reminders of what you lack, but signals of what already belongs to you in the unseen. If the desire arose within you, it did so because its fulfillment already exists. Your desire is the evidence. It is the whisper from your future calling you forward. And your acceptance is what bridges the gap. So you embrace your desires instead of fearing them. You hold them gently, lovingly, knowing they are promises, not fantasies. You allow their fulfillment to feel natural. You feel the reality of them in your inner world. And as you do, You step more fully into the version of yourself who already possesses them. That version of you is confident. That version of you is peaceful. That version of you is grateful. That version of you is aligned with the highest expression of who you are meant to be. And as you continue to dwell in that version, your world continues shifting to reflect it. The transformation is subtle at first, like a soft breeze signaling the change of seasons. But soon it becomes undeniable. Life begins to bloom in places that once felt barren. Paths open where there were once walls. Connections form where there was once distance. And through it all, you remain centered in the inner knowing that this is not coincidence. This is creation. Your manifestation is not just coming into your world. It is expressing itself through you. It is become visible because you have become aligned with it internally. You have matched its vibration, mirrored its feeling, assumed its reality. And now your world is adjusting to reflect the new state you have chosen to occupy. And as you continue in this beautiful unfolding, you understand something profound. The journey is not about forcing change in the world, but about allowing change in yourself. The outer shift is simply a reflection of the inner awakening. Your manifestation is the natural outflow of your inner transformation. Continue resting in this truth. Continue feeling the fulfillment. Continue allowing yourself to live in the end. And watch as the unseen becomes seen in ways more beautiful and perfect than you ever imagined. And as you lean even more deeply into this truth, a new kind of ease begins to surround you, an ease that comes from no longer questioning whether things will work out, but simply assuming that they already have. You start to notice how natural it feels to think from the end rather than about the end. You no longer imagine a version of yourself striving to become something. You imagine and feel the version of yourself who already is. And this subtle shift in identity becomes the engine of everything that follows. You begin to sense that life itself is cooperating with you. The timing feels better. The days feel smoother. Even unexpected events seem to carry purpose. You understand, perhaps for the first time, what it feels like to walk with destiny instead of chasing it. You're no longer trying to pull your manifestation toward you. You're allowing yourself to align with the version of reality where it already exists. This alignment becomes a quiet joy within you. It doesn't scream. It doesn't push. It simply hums with certainty. It's the feeling of being held, guided, supported by an unseen intelligence that knows exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. You find yourself trusting this guidance, trusting the subtle impulses that arise from within. They don't feel random or forced. They feel right. They feel natural. They feel like the next logical step in a story that has already been written. You may even begin to notice that old desires fade away, not because you gave up on them, but because their fulfillment has already taken root in your inner world. You no longer feel the longing or the urgency. Instead, you feel the calm assurance of someone who has already received. This is the paradox of manifestation. Once you feel it is done within, the craving dissolves, and the fulfillment begins to appear without. And the more you experience this inner knowing, the more you trust yourself. Your inner voice becomes clearer. Your intuition strengthens. You realize that the answers you once sought outside of yourself were always meant to rise from within. You become aware of your own creative authority, the quiet, powerful ability to choose a state and dwell in it until the world conforms. From this new state of awareness, everyday life takes on a different texture. You walk through familiar places with unfamiliar confidence. You interact with people from a place of love rather than fear. You approach challenges with a calm mind, knowing they are simply remnants of past assumptions and will dissolve as you remain faithful to your new inner reality. You see beauty where you once saw difficulty. You see possibility where you once saw limitation. This clarity allows you to become more selective with your attention. You stop feeding energy into what you don't want, and you begin nurturing what you do want. You realize that attention is not passive. It is the directing of creative power. Wherever your focus goes, life responds. And so you choose deliberately. You choose lovingly. You choose in alignment with your fulfilled desire. And as you continue choosing in this way, something extraordinary happens. Life begins reflecting your inner world with startling accuracy. Conversations shift, opportunities arise, resources appear, people show up exactly when they're meant to. You begin to feel an astonishing truth that nothing is random, that everything is connected, that your inner state is the map your outer world follows. This realization deepens your faith, not a faith based on hope, but a faith based on experience, a faith that grows each time you witness the invisible, becoming visible through the power of your imagination. You begin to understand the law not as a theory, but as a living principle operating through you and as you. And once this understanding matures, you no longer question if your manifestation is coming. You simply watch with quiet joy as it moves into form. There is a gentleness that grows in you as well. You no longer criticize yourself for old patterns or past fears. You treat yourself with more compassion, more patience, more grace. You recognize that you were always doing the best you could with the awareness you had. And now with greater awareness, you choose differently. You choose more lovingly. You choose more consciously. This self-love becomes part of your manifestation too. It softens your heart. It opens your spirit. It aligns you with abundance in all its forms. Not just material abundance, but emotional, spiritual, relational abundance. You start to attract experiences that reflect your worthiness, because you finally see yourself as worthy. You begin to expect good things, not because you force optimism, but because your inner world has become a place where goodness feels natural. And in moments of stillness, you may even feel a profound sense of gratitude for the journey itself, for the lessons, the growth, the awakening. Not because everything was easy, but because everything led you here, to this understanding, to this unfolding, to this realization of your own creative power. You begin to see that nothing was wasted. Every moment prepared you for the state you occupy now. And as this gratitude expands within you, your manifestation draws even closer into visibility. Not because gratitude is a technique, but because it is the natural emotional state of someone who knows they already have what they once sought. It aligns your heart with the truth of fulfillment. It opens your hands to receive what is already flowing toward you. Every day becomes a gentle unfolding. Every moment becomes a step on the bridge of events. Every breath becomes a reminder of the unseen reality blooming into form. You no longer walk in uncertainty. You walk in quiet expectation, knowing that your inner world has already completed what your outer world is just beginning to reveal. And still this journey continues, even now, as your awareness deepens, as your faith strengthens, as your inner reality becomes more vivid and familiar than anything you see with your physical eyes. And now, as you stand in this powerful awareness, let your heart receive the truth it has been longing to hear. You are not waiting for your manifestation anymore. You are welcoming it. You are not hoping for change. You are becoming the change. Everything you have imagined, everything you have claimed, everything you have dared to feel as true is already taking shape in your reality. The unseen is unfolding into the seen, and nothing can stop what is divinely aligned with you. Let this knowing fill you with a deep, unshakable peace. Feel the certainty settle into your spirit like a warm light that cannot be dimmed. You are stepping into a new chapter, not by effort, but by assumption. Not by striving, but by believing. Not by chasing, but by embodying T. The end is already done. Carry this truth with you. You are the creator of your reality, and your imagination is the blueprint of your destiny. Keep returning to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Keep trusting the unseen. Keep walking with the quiet confidence of someone who knows their manifestation is already here. And as your world continues to shift and align in the most beautiful ways, remember this moment, this decision to believe, to trust, to embrace the power within you. Because from this moment forward, nothing will ever be the same. Your life is unfolding exactly as you imagined it, and your manifestation is entering your reality with grace, certainty, and perfect timing. It is done. It is yours, and you are ready.